In our last video, we walked through how to enter a change request in Sage Intacct. Now it's time for the next step, issuing a project change order. A project change order groups together one or more change requests, summarizes the total price and costs, and drives updates to your project contract lines. It also simplifies billing when multiple changes are happening on a single project. Let's walk through how to create one. A project change order is a formal document that consolidates multiple change requests into a single manageable record. Rather than billing a customer separately for every individual change, a project change order pulls them all together, giving you and your client a clear summary of all the revisions and their financial impact on the project. So here's how it fits into the workflow. I have a project change order workflow here. So in our last video, we set up the change request status. You can enable permissions to users that need access to issuing change requests and change orders. So we added our change request and we selected our project tasks and cost type in the entries table, and we assigned a change request status. Next up, we're going to add a project change order, and then we're going to link our change requests to the project change order. You might have one change request, you might have 20. So this way you can just have one executed change order. If we were to stop at just the step of issuing change requests, that will only affect our estimate. You're not going to be able to bill on the change request or actually affect the project contract line in your SOV until you do the second step of issuing the change order. So keep in mind for change management, there are two steps: change requests and change orders. Once you link your change request to the project change order, it's copied into order entry, and then you can generate a project invoice for that work. Please note that once change requests are linked to a project change order, the details in the change request are read-only, so you can't edit that change request. Make sure the change requests are accurate and fully posted before linking them to a change order. If the change request is not fully posted, you will not be able to link it to the project change order. So let's get started. We're going to go into the projects module and let's go into our project change requests. I can click this plus sign here, or I can go into it this way. I'm going to turn off my enhanced list. And here are all my project change orders that I've issued thus far. And just like on any page in Intacct, you can modify your view, so you can have more details to drill in here. You have the option to import project change orders, but I'm going to add them manually. So you can see here, just like in my change request screen, I have an auto sequence on for the project change order ID. This is a unique identifier for this change order. If your organization is using automatic ID sequence for project change orders, the ID will automatically populate after you save. So you may not need to enter it manually, depending on your setup. Please keep in mind that anything with a red asterisk is required. In the project field, select the project this change order relates to. This is a critical step. Only change requests that share the same project or sub-project will be available to link to this change order. I'd also like to note that you do need to have an estimate in to start this change management process. You will get an error if you try to issue a change request and there's not an estimate in the system. You might also receive an error if you don't have cost codes added properly to your project, like we talked about a few videos ago. So the project change order date, it will come in as today's date. but you can enter the date that reflects the change order and when that's being issued. Typically, this is going to be the day it's approved and sent to the client. And then you also can enter a price effective date. Same thing, this is the date it's typically approved or sent over to your client. You can enter a description here that summarizes the change order. For example, you can do change order 1 and enter the scope. Just give your client a clear description. This also helps your internal team as well as the client quickly understand what this change order covers. And then here you can select a project change order template. If you are issuing an executed change order out of Intacct, you'll select your template here. This is your send to contact. You can drill into your project here to confirm during entry whether you're sending it directly to the customer or you have a primary contact or a bill to contact. Typically here, the primary contact is the PM on the owner side for this type of work. And then you'll select your billing item here. And my setup, it's going to be a contract CO item. Your billing item must be a non-inventory or non-inventory sales item. The billing item is required if you plan to copy this project change order to an order entry order for customer billing. Selecting the right billing item here ensures that the change order flows correctly into your billing process downstream. Here we'll select our project contract. It is linked to this project here. Any sub contracts would follow. And then here is where you can select your project contract line. Recall in the last video, I added a line for the change order. Stay away from special characters in any of these fields. That's important to note. It'll allow you to save with special characters, but you'll have a random issue down the road, billing or issuing anything after. Then here we have our change request status. This is an important field. Any change requests that you link to this change order will inherit this status. So choose a status that reflects the current stage of approval in your workflow. For example, you have approved, contingency declined, pending, submitted. You can add something on the fly. You can call it under review, verbal approval, whatever fits your organization's needs. At this point, I have approved change requests, so I'm going to mark this as approved because I know this change order will be approved. You can also add awaiting signature here, and then you can post an attachment here. If needed, you can expand this additional information field. This adds some details about the project change order, such as internal notes, reference numbers, or other context that supports this change. And now we have our change requests table down here. At this point, I'm going to post and continue. If I were to just draft and continue, I'll do this first. I would receive an error once I select my change request. So this needs to be posted before I can link my change requests. And now I can go back into this and select edit. And now towards the bottom, I can select any change requests that are related to this change order. You might have many, I just have one. So select that and add selected and close. Okay, so now we have a linked change request to this project change order. If I were to drill into my project contract ID, post and continue first. Now you can see that there is the price and cost added. If I drill into my project ID, under my change management tab, I can see this new project change order that was issued and the change request. I can drill in here. So this is the change request we issued in the last video. And you can see that once my project change order was approved, this status automatically updated to approved. I'm going to go to my project contract tab. And you can see here that now there are approved change prices that update the total revised contract price. And then I have my change order here. You can see the original price was 0. This is the approved change price, and this is what I can bill on now. So when you go into generate your invoice, you'll see another line and you can bill on that. Let's go back into our change order. So you have options to print and email. You can also update your change request layout here if needed. Let's take a moment to see how everything ties together. So posting a change request updates the primary project estimate to reflect the revised scope and costs. If your project estimate is integrated with your GL budget, those changes can also flow through to update the budget. Linking change requests to a project change order allows you to revise the project contract lines, keeping your contract aligned with the actual scope of work. So until the project change order is issued, you cannot bill on this change order. I can remove the change request. Maybe I have a few more that are coming after, and I can remove it. I can edit the state and add the change request as needed. And that's how you create and issue a project change order in Sage Intacct. By combining change requests into a single change order, you can keep your project finances organized, your contracts current, and your billing process streamlined. Thanks for watching.